And welcome back to my YouTube. I'm Alan Cook, of the proud owner of the MIDION painting, which I'm going to show you right here. Excuse me being a little slow on taking care of the upgrade here of there goes my marker. Okay, it's right there. So you're going to see this particular painting, which is called MIDION, right there. And the woman that's being serenaded is the Mona Lisa, but when she was older. I got probably 5,000 documents of photos that I've probably listed throughout the years, and written a book called Passion of Love. This man's an extremely handsome man, serenading the older, more mature Mona Lisa. The reason why this particular painting has been slipped through the hands all the years is because if an artist can't do hands, then he's no good. So Leonardo da Vinci was not only a code man, he was a man to hide his works. And so he made her pinky, as you see, with a bend to make it look like he couldn't do hands. Let me blow it up. Now I've got like almost 300 YouTubes out. Do you see that finger? Let me see. Do you see the finger? Okay. Now, here's another thing that you need to know. I'm going to just give you a short run real quick, and it's going to get real twisted. It's going to be just like, oh my goodness, I don't care if you're on top of it and how smart you are, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to explain it right. But anyway, there's an L here, an E, O, N with the mark, A, R, D, O, Leonardo. There's an M, F for Melzi Francisca. Sali's written in my painting also. It's also written in the Mona Lisa. Everything in which I have found in the works of Leonardo da Vinci is God as my witness, as for what I've seen, is the same works is done by the same man. And if Leonardo da Vinci did not do my painting, then the Mona Lisa was not done by Leonardo da Vinci. There's no way anybody would spend 67 total years on this earth, which is 55 solid years of his work, to try to duplicate somebody else's work in this, because it's got his history, it's his diary. See, in each dot, which is smaller than a pixel of his work, in which I don't have all the answers, but I do have some that I can try to explain here real quick. We're only on 3 minutes already. I don't think I got enough time, but I'm going to do my best. Anyway, if in a pixel, he would put tons of images. So in a circle, you have 360 degrees, and in a kidney shape, you'll have minimum at least that. And in a kidney shape, you have 360 degrees. We're going to give it a minimum. Okay, now I hope you kind of try to understand, and I'm going to say it kind of fast because I'm going to try to throw everything real quick. If you take a triangle with 3 dots, and each time you turn it's the same, but if you move one of them slightly, obviously it changes. Well, if you did a 360 dots on a kidney shape, and each time you turn it, it changes dramatically. And in each particular dot or area, he would do a portrait or a cartoon or something. And then he'll put the images on the inside. So you'll have 400 images on the outside and 400 images on the inside. And then you'll have, on top of that, you'll have, each time you turn it, it's 360, which is like 2.5 million images and something that's in a micro dot. Okay, now it gets worse, because when you end up with another microdot next to it, you think now you got 5 million. No, because what you could have is 2 eyes, one eye from one cat and another eye from another cat, and they're buttoned together and they're split. And then it keeps building and building and building, because his images is kind of like the thing of I'll work for a penny today, and tomorrow I'll work for 2 pennies, and the next day I'll work for 4 pennies, and at the end of the year you're a millionaire, or something of that sort, if you just kept doubling it instead of just taking a pay raise. It gets something of that sort. But it does into art. It also gets into levels and chemistry. Now, I'm going to have to chump this just a little bit, bounce around, because my brain's not like Leo, but let me show you this particular image, which is my image. This is my image out of the Mona Lisa, the painted one being serenaded. Now, if I take the Mona Lisa as you know today, and I lay it over the top, which I have changed the size. Well, let me back that up then, before I do that, since this is already set. This image is going to go over to the face of the Mona, okay? And because of, let's see if I can just do it real quick. Oh, God, I got so much to say and so little time. Oh, I think that was in the Candyman, man. I got something to strike that. That's in reverse or something, he says. Anyway, you can see how that matches, okay? That's a side face. That's the way it works. Leonardo da Vinci will make this face move across the room, and you'll see how the nose now fits there. And then you'll see how the nose fits right there. And it goes on how the eyes are fitting right in, and it's like a drape, like a woman getting married with a drape over her. Okay, something similar to that. He has his own style. He has his own little kinks of what he likes and what he doesn't like. Okay, he will actually make this image go across the room. Now, here's the trick. Here's another image which is hidden. Now, it looks like the one on the left is actually a face going the other way with a funny looking hat, and then you got a long droopy snake thing on the right, or some sort. I don't know what it is, but we're just going to call it that for right now. But if you lay this up in here, this is one of his hidden works, you'll see how the face on the left, okay, a bigger item, fits in the hole nearly perfectly to fill the hole. And then if you slide this on over, you'll see the long snaky deal fits almost the full length. If I was to move it just a hair like that, and you'll see how it fits the full length of the emptiness of the full length. Leo will take an item like, let's say this is a puzzle. Let's say this is a puzzle. This. And you're missing your little pieces. It's missing. He will give you in certain layers, in certain hidden deals, he'll give you the puzzle piece that's missing. Now, he may even add in a portion of the other puzzle piece to let you know that that's where it fits. He's laughing at us. He's made it that easy for us that we can't see. Okay? Now, what's disgusting about it, okay, it's hard to find. But it's easy for this man. And how come this piece fits here, and this piece that's supposed to fit over here is spread apart? There's an answer to it, and you have to ask Leo, but I'll give you my thought on it. It's because, again, when it starts here, he wants you to shift to know where the pieces are going to lay when you make it move across the room like a flip book. He gives you your stepping stones. So I think you're following me, and I hope I'm saying it right. But what he does is he gives you your markings. So then when we come back with this, which I haven't done yet, let's see what happens. We come back with this, and we know that I went over like this to where the nose went, right? Okay. We're going to agree with that because I know that I did that. So if you disagree with that, I'm going to say, well, I got to play it back and prove it to you. Okay, now, so we know that part. Now let's pull this down, and we're speculating that it's going to fit underneath that left side eye, which is the right eye. We're going to pull this down, and I just kind of wonder, where's this go? Okay, get this and slide this up. What is this all about here? What is that such a separation of what reason? It covers around the eye, huh? Why? Okay, so he's got off on the right these swirls. You see them? You see? Watch. I got only one hand, so I've been doing all. You see this little loop, and it comes on down and it goes like this. Now watch when I put it up, and you see where it fits in the Mona, right here, right? The loop. Now I'm going to hold it right there, and let's see what's so special. There's the same loop. Okay, here's the same loop in these diamonds of indentations that he throws this like invisible frost that when you get into it, he lets you know even what you think is old that's not going to show up is part of his paintings, like Vaseline on a window or Vaseline on a mirror. You can paint the Mona Lisa on a mirror in your bathroom and it would be hard to see. You steam it all up and it would come out even more, and you have to look sideways. That's what this man does. He does something similar to that effect that makes you want to pull your hair out. It's easier. I know it's not showing up on the screen as much on the YouTube. It's what you can see. And I have very bad equipment compared to what I know that I'm going to get my hands on. It's coming soon. I know it. And I want to be able to either keep the painting or have control on the painting, because there's been so much lying about the artwork that's out there regarding Leonardo da Vinci, of the hidden works and which is in it. And I'm getting to where I'm getting frustrated about it. For the reason is because it's exciting. I mean, it is exciting. Okay, it's better than a fair. It's better than watching a movie. This is a movie, because if you grab watch this. I know I'm going beyond this. I don't even know if I got you into knowing exactly what I intended to let you know, but if I did, I'm blessed, because I don't think I got into every little detail. Which, well, I know I didn't get into every little detail, but I did try to get the point across of okay. I'm gonna have to. Okay, now you see this. Now watch what happens when I put the walking lady in it. It's in one. Excuse me. It's in one of my YouTubes. This is Last Supper. This is one of his works. Okay. The walking lady is hiding over. Here she is. I found her. She's hiding in the closet. My mom always likes that joke. Honey, I'm home. And then she doesn't answer. And he says, honey, I got a ring for you. I'm hiding in the closet. So you can see the ring. Okay. Okay, let's see. How's that going to be reduced? It has to get reduced to fit in that. Okay. Well, I don't know if you can see her that good. Okay. So I'll blow this one up more. Oops. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, this is the walking lady. Let's see if she's too big. Normally you really gotta blow it up for this. I'm shooting for the moon with you guys. So I have to stretch it for it to give it its laminate deal. And then I got to put it up here to see if it fits. Okay. I also got to twist the camera for you. So now I need 4 hands. But let me twist the camera. Okay. In the corner. You see her? She overlays perfectly over to the last guy, and her garment fits 100% in the back of his dress. I mean his wear. And if you actually take this and I don't know what I was going to do there. Oh, it's going to stretch it. And bring it down lower. See how she fits in the ball. Needs a hair stretch. There. She fits in the ball of the top. Now watch. Down. See the top? She fits. Okay? I'm a hair not stretched enough because it bounces off. I need to stretch it just a hair more for it to be easier. Let's see if it does it better. Oh, help me. Let's see here. I was just one like quarter of an inch off. Let's see how this works this way. Better. Okay. She fits perfectly. See it? Okay. You see her? See her face? See how she fits right in the back on the top? And her garment fits in the cover. Okay? And she's pointing. I do believe she's pointing to Judas. Okay? And she's like a waitress that's in the Last Supper. Now watch. When you move her across, you can see how she forms in the same design of his clothes. See how she loops here? Watch. See how this loop is? See how the loop is? Watch. Boom. And then her shoulders starts to become, when you get it slidden across, and it starts, watch, becomes Judas's head. See? So this is his work. He's a copy machine. And when she moves across the room, her eyes change. Okay? They blink at you, and her hips move. Okay? And she goes right across. Look at it. She even fills the face of Jesus. Okay. Now, but she's not just always just there. You can make her in different other sizes, a little bigger and whatnot, and she will form the same design of these curvatures of these guys' faces. Perfect body form, and she ends up going all the way across the room. She actually walks across the room. So Leonardo da Vinci copied his works, And Leonardo da Vinci made his works move like a TV. And God bless my father, being a television repairman, Donald Cook, Don's TV in Roanoke Park. Lived here since 1959, and I believe in there's a God, and I believe that you guys need to see that a private individual does not have to go to college, okay, to know what he sees. He doesn't have to go and examine the paintwork on a piece of painting if he turns around and researches how do you find an X-ray. Well, you know, this is it. I researched for a solid year before I even started on this, nearly, just to figure out what I can pull and what I can do. And I was going to go to New York to have it X-rayed. Well, the guy was willing. It was like going to be something 1,500, 3,000 or something outrageous. Okay, and he says, listen, just do what we do. He said, go to a veterinarian, large animal hospital that has a portable veterinarian X-ray machine, and have it X-rayed to find out what you got in it. And he says they charge around $150. So I had him shoot $300 worth. Problem is when I had mine shot, they didn't have a big enough lead sheet to go back behind it, so he shot it in like 4 different sections where I can't knit it together. There's another technical word, and it doesn't matter. It's stitching or whatever. And so I have tons of paintings that need to be X-rayed, and I'm going to buy me a portable one and use it on my own usage that I need for myself. But the thing is that you can research to find out what kind of works you have, what kind of things. You know, it's coming up on this screen pretty good. What's this really look like? It's pretty neat. This is not an accident with a brush, okay? There's a meaning to it. And we're in this big fire here. I mean, they got the big fire going on, and they just lifted a lot of the people to come on back. I wonder what this really is. I do believe it was growing to be a face, but I do see a body here, and like someone laying here. I've seen so much, it's not even funny, things in which, from sexual to running across a room, also songs. A lot of these are songs, and I'll show you a song if you don't mind hanging in some more. I can do this all day. I mean, I like it, but I'm just afraid that you guys don't want a long YouTube. If you guys want, you let me know. But let me see if my Gumby's in here. I got a Gumby guy in here. Is there a Gumby in here? I call him Gumby. Maybe he's in the other one. He might be in this one. Let's see if Gumby's in here. Don't look too good that I'm going to show you Gumby. I'm not looking too good at knowing where that picture is, huh? Now this thing was shot with a 100 megapixel camera. Okay? So, well, I'm not going to be able to show you Gumby, I guess. It's going to make me look like somebody, well, just can't find Gumby. Okay, I'll show you on my next YouTube. But anyway, what he does is he takes those stars, okay, and he does a music sheet. he's playing music when he puts all these dots together. If you imagine looking at something, a poster with 1,000 dots on it, and somebody says, "Oh, that looks like a railroad car, a train with a bunny hanging out of it, banging on a drum," and I can't see it. Sometimes I just don't see it, but I've seen a lot of people know how to really spot it. But for some reason, I learned his ways of hiding his works within the Mona. Like, for instance, okay, I'll show you when you take the Mona and you flip it 180. I showed it on my YouTube. You flip it 180 and you pull over to the right. Oh boy, oh, did I grab the short one? What happened with this? Oh, here it is. Never mind. Here it is. You see this area right here? Whoops, sorry. You see this area right here? That's a bear drinking water in a lake. Okay? That's a bear drinking water in a lake. Watch. See it? Whoops. You see them here? Let me scoot that over. All right. Let me pull this down a little. Okay. This is an eye. That's an eye. That's an eye. That's the nose. Those are the claws. Okay. And then when you get real heavy into it, watch this. I haven't looked at it in years, but I know that there's people that's in this darker area. See, you can start seeing the faces. Here's an eye and an eye and an eye and an eye. And these are people built on totem poles that build the same image. And within this is also, I do believe, brown bears that are hovered in there. So he hides his work on top of his works. And I do believe this is a big old lion or so roaring inside his body. He's a master of hiding. There's a meaning to this snake here. You see that? Watch. You see this portion right here? This river? I'm going to figure it out, but when I did do the snake of like a dragon, it come out, you go to Google it, and you're going to find out that there's a pretty heavy-duty meaning to it. But look at this. There's another head here, turned sideways. An eye, a mouth. This is a head. When you open these things up, you're going to find massive of his works in massive layers. And then it gets worse. And the reason why it gets worse is because you're only looking at the top layer. You're probably got 20 different layers to go on top of, and then in each layer of each one of the 20, you got like invisible ink or something that he transparently does. Now that looks like a frog. A big eye with a funny face here, long body slooping in here. He makes them in like alien cartoons. And then he's got a dragon looking guy over and they're looking at each other. And what he does is he turns his friends and his buddies into these wild little animals like you do at the circus, that you turn around and say, look at that big long nose on that snake. Or you say, oh, I don't have a nose that big, but how come the photo kind of represents you when you go home with you and your girl on this cartoon looking thing that he did for 15 or 20 bucks for you at the circus? It's because it's the stylist of the artist. Okay, and it gets wilder. I could tell you why. If you Google and you want to find out the code they found in the Mona Lisa's eyes, okay, and they're going to find out that there's a CE, a B, a 1, a L2, a B, a 149. Okay, the CE is actually coded for Katharina, and the E is an M turned sideways, meaning Melzi Francisca. And he was one of his lovers who lived with him. There was three of them: Melzi, Sali, and Leonardo da Vinci. They all lived together, and one up to 1518, which is Sali, and then Melzi inherited everything except for the portrait, is the way the story goes. And I do have, even in my painting, his diary of his will is in my painting. So in that respect, you'll have to understand that when somebody dies back then, instead of going into a book and keeping the book on a registry, if he really liked you and you knew that you had talent, you'll go and sign a painting, "Rest in peace, we love you," and then they put their code and cartoon and a little funny little character, and we'll miss you, and things of that sort. When I got a spot that I found out of thousands of spots, but I got a spot that I found that when I read the article of Leonardo da Vinci died alone with one individual by his side. Well, in the painting with all the cartoons around him, he was having a party with these people, and he had this guy, I do believe his name was Pepe on a side name, and Pepe was hugging him with his face against it, and he also had Melzi Francisca later, like being in Mars or some red planet or some sort, dreaming about Leo, who looked like Santa Claus from a distance, which he does, and he had these in the background flying in the stars. He had these. You would think they were deer, but they weren't. They were actually green leprechauns, or little elves, excuse me. And it's amazing that they had a lot of fun, these artists, making little characters of everybody, and they put it in their painting that made a portrait. Michelangelo, if you, I do believe, is the one with the hands that they're trying to touch each other. And I haven't researched that too much, but I did see it. I think it was in Ben-Hur, and I was examining the arms of it while it was into the intermission time, and yeah, I could stand to be corrected who did it, but I do believe it was Michelangelo. And if you take a look at the arms when you twist them and blow them up, they're bodies, they're heads, they're people made into those muscles. Really, I'm telling you, these artists were magnificent. Not like someone doing a still photo today of a rose. There's no life into it unless you get into the little pixels of it that gets into these old school artists. And you're not going to find normally, I beg the difference, or apologizing, because I really don't know the art community that well, but it's kind of like when you want to do auto body work. To find a good metal man, you got to find an old school auto body guy that really knows how to work that metal to where you can metal finish it. My past experience is I can straighten and metal finish it, and because I was taught old school, nearly 40 years invested in it, but my health of rheumatoid arthritis limits me on doing that work now. But I do want to let you know, the old school people, the real old school people, just just don't toss them off, man. When they say this or they say that, and you old man, this, what do you know? Blah. You know, they got experience. And Leonardo da Vinci didn't only have experience, he also had talent. He had ability. And so what he did is he hid this painting. This painting he hid all his life for nobody to find, and I stumbled across it through a religious way. See, my dad used to doodle, and when he doodled, he ended up making cartoons. There's something with a big nose on somebody who didn't have a big nose, but for some reason the nose kind of represented the individual anyway, or some funny feet, or his silly little attitude. Well, so one day when I had 5 minutes, I used to be a compulsive buyer, and I still am, I guess. And my dad passed away, and I said, when I was looking at the clouds, I says, "Hey, God help my father talk to me." I says, "Dad, make me a funny face in the clouds." And 5 minutes went by. I shot a picture of one of the clouds, and it was a funny face. And sure enough, I said, "Do it again." And 5 minutes later, it was a face on top of a face on top of a face. I shot the picture and I walked away. 3 weeks later, I was playing around, being with a TV antenna. My dad was a TV repairman, and this painting was on top of a bunk bed that I forgot about for many years, sitting up there, and the antenna wouldn't fit back further in the wall for signal. And I climbed up on a chair and found this painting that I had put away that I was going to look at whenever I had time, which I never did, and shot 40 shots on it to find out who owned it. Well, there was no signature. And out of the 40 shots, 4 shots come out to look like those clouds. Another God sign. Well, what I'm telling you now on 2 signs, because my father was a TV repairman, I'm playing with a TV antenna, and my dad used to doodle, and I see 4 cartoons out of 40 shots that matched the 2 cartoons of the faces in which I shot 3 weeks prior, and it felt like, and I'm being religious anyway, a sign. So out of that sign, I continue with like 80,000 photo shots, okay? I knew God was telling me something. Well, that's not the end of it. The end is still going, okay, right now. And not only that, I probably had at least 1,000 of those spiritual, honest, leading ways in my life. Anybody else, psychiatrist or friends or anybody, if I was to really gotten into it, I'm not ashamed to say it. At first I was like, I don't see that. I don't see this. I don't see that. I gave up on them. And one individual out of all of it, a friend, and he takes a look. He goes, "Look at this. Look at that. Look at this." He was seeing everything I seen too. And it was like 1 person out of 100. Well, out of all those 100 person out of the 100, somebody has the eye for art. Somebody sees it, or it just matches like that poster on the wall that you find it. You can't figure it out, and then all of a sudden you find this one guy. He goes, "Click, that's it," and he shows it to you, and you go, "Ah, thanks." So one day, out of my almost 300 YouTubes, and this is my longest one yet, it's going to be to where I'm going to click and get the point across to you guys that this painting is the same as this one. I have the Mona Lisa in X-ray in this painting, many of different areas and places. My opinion, and I'm strong on it. It take wild animals to get me not to believe, is that the Mona Lisa has a couple trillion paintings in it, as long as mine too. And I've only examined heavily on the top layer. I mean, I didn't even go for the back. I did a little back for the Mona and a little back on mine, but nowhere near, probably not even 1% of all my other studies. He's done this artwork front and back. Front and back. If you took a Post-it and you wrote so-and-so called, you would take that post-it and says, oh, so-and-so called, and you wrinkle it and throw it away. Well, he wouldn't waste a thing. If it had a micro little dot to where you can put a dot like a pin of the little dot, a period on a piece of paper, he'd fill it with art. This guy, I'm telling you, this guy is absolutely beautifully insane with talent, ability, smarts, codes, humor, friendship, love. He had an army of individuals that would have guarded him completely of anything. He was very, very well liked. I even got the signature I seen of Michelangelo in my painting saying rest in peace and in code. And the why would a man that did David swore he would never sign anything ever again, ever, okay? I'm never going to sign a thing again. Well, because you criticize me signing David. Because out of respect from one artist to another after the passing, it doesn't matter if you hate the individual. It's like one president, forgive me if this offends anybody, one president allowed or not allowed to go to a funeral out of respect of whatever individuals allowing or not allowing. Or the two great men. You got 5 presidents, they all show up, they all shake their hands, and they all watch everybody wave to them and thank them for their services. The same thing goes for managers and firemen and police officers. Thank you, officer. You know, it's out of respect. One day you hate them, next day you love them. I've seen that happen a lot in my life. Family members you end up having a bigger problem with. But we don't want to get into that detail. We're going to talk about these two paintings are truly the same. I need a GoFundMe page for Alan D. Cook. If somebody can figure it out, that'd be great. Need to do a comment, that's fine. I have a direct phone number at 707-568-7022, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific time. I am absolutely floored with this. I've gotten tons of more info. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to do this till the day I die. Somebody's going to hear me. Finally, YouTube's going to say, that's enough. I don't know. Maybe Mark, the owner of Google, says, Alan, let me promote you. I don't know. He seems to be a very smart, good man. Maybe Bill Gates or William or Buffett would like to talk or see it. Whoever it goes to, okay, it's got to be a deal to where it goes next to the Mona. This is the older Mona Lisa. Anyway, I want to say God bless the whole world, the universe, and the heavens. Sorry I took up so much of your time. Next one I might do probably a few hours at least. I love talking about it. I need to get my facts. I will show Gumby. I'm sorry that I didn't find that, but I got so many photos and I got so much on my mind, and I'm talking like I talk like this when I get excited about this, because this is history. I wish I go teach the kids in school on a big 4K projector, which I need. I need a 16K a gaming computer. I need a high-end projector screen. I need a lot of teaching for YouTubing and then getting a more proper display, and individuals that to teach me in the film business. It's a whole nother different occupation from a guy that used to be an auto wreckers into Camaros. I had a company called Camaro Land. I have a lot of cars for sale. That about 13 of them. I had 180. I got like 500 disassembled and sitting on inside 10 50-foot semi trailers. I have a lot of parts. I got to sell them to keep my my love going. You have anybody of interest, leave a comment. God bless you again. You have a good, safe night. We're out of the zone of the fire, and thank you for your concerns. Amen.